Hello everyone and welcome to Cutie Pie Collective. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make these heart motif overlay crochet granny squares. For materials, you'll need 2 colors of yarn. I used a worsted weight, a J-sized crochet hook, scissors, and patience. For those curious, this is the chart I created for this pattern. Feel free to screenshot it if it helps you along the way. All dark colors are an overlay double crochet. This pattern is worked from the center out, starting with a magic ring. The first round is the light blue square in the very center. Alright, so we're going to get started with a magic ring. To make one of those, wrap your fingers with yarn, use your hook to pull up a loop. I like to give it a little twist. Then I pinch at the base. Yarn over and pull through in a chain and tighten. And then you have a magic ring. So this pattern starts with a single crochet and chain times 4. So each single crochet is going to be a side of our square, and each chain is a corner. Pull the tail of your magic ring to get it closed, and you can already sort of see a square-ish shape forming, though right now it looks mostly like a circle. Every round is finished with a slip stitch through our first single crochet available, and then we're going to pull up our next color. For overlay crochet, we change colors each row. And for this slip stitch, we're going to be doing it through both loops, though every single crochet in this pattern will be done in the back loop only, and every double crochet will be done in the front loop only. You'll see as we get further along. But the slip stitch is done through both just to really give it that nice, even finish on each round. It also brings us to our corner for our next row. Here's how I bring up my second color. Just yarn over, pull up through our loop, and then tighten that loop down. And it replaces our first color with our second. Now each corner is a single crochet, chain, and single crochet in the same loop, and again it's done back loop only. So double check yourself and make sure that you're only picking up the back loop. Single crochet, chain, and single crochet. So every time the pattern calls for a corner, it's calling for a single crochet, chain, single crochet in the back loop only. Now for round 2, we do a corner and then a single crochet and then another corner. We're going to do 4 corners and 4 single crochets total. This is where it really does start to look like a square. Now you do have to pay attention when you're finishing your round that you're seeing where exactly that last single crochet is. It can look a little funky from where you pulled down the loop from your color. That is the stitch, and that's where you're going to go. And now to finish off our round, we do a slip stitch. Again through both loops. And that brings us right back to our corner for our next round. It can be a little messy in the beginning, keeping track of all of your yarn. So I like to pull one color to one side of the work and keep the other on the other side, just to sort of help them lay side by side as I work up. Begin, yarn over, pull through that loop, and then pull that loop down and tight. Now round 3, we're going to start with a corner, like always, single crochet, chain, and single crochet. Then we're going to do a double crochet, and this is where we do our overlay double crochet, but I will just call it a double crochet for the sake of simplicity. Now for these, you're going to map it out by finding the next stitch you'd go into, and then you go directly below that into the loop you left behind. And every time a round starts with a double crochet, you're going into the corner spot of the row below it. So this is where we worked our round 2 corner, and it's going to be where we're going to work this first double crochet. Now we're going to skip a stitch. Since we worked a double crochet down below, we skip one and do our single crochet. And then we do another double crochet. Again, you can hunt it out by finding that corner and looking for the one loop left behind. All right, now you just repeat that process 4 times on each side of our square. You can see we're going to go into that chain space of the round before and work our next corner. Alright, and we're just going to do our last double crochet here. Alright. I feel like it looks a little bit like a mini waffle at this point. Now we're going to skip that single crochet and go straight into doing our slip stitch to finish our round. You can kind of give it a little wiggle and adjust. Now we pull up our next color. Hold down the color from before, pull through, and pull everything tight. You can see how they kind of lay side by side each other up the corner of our project. All right, round 4, we're going to start with our corner. Then we do 2 single crochets, a double crochet, and 2 more single crochets. So single crochet 1, single crochet 2, then double crochet. You're going to find the loop that was left behind in this gap. Sometimes it can be a little fiddly. You can also sort of nudge it back into being center. Single crochet 1 and single crochet 2. That's what you do for round 4. We do this 4 times on each side of our square. Corner, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, and then our next corner. This round gives us the point of our hearts. That's what this single double crochet is. Ran out of yarn there, so just spliced on a new piece and continue. Alright, and as usual, finish our row with a slip stitch, and you can see how it's coming along. We have the points of our hearts now. Going to change color. and start on round 5. If you ever get lost on what round you are, it's really easy to tell because you have these lovely stripes on the back of your work. As usual, we start with our corner, single crochet, chain, single crochet. For round 5, we work 1 single crochet, then 1 double crochet, followed by 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and 1 single crochet. This double crochet helps outline our heart, and it is not stacked on top of the one before it, it's right beside it. You can see it's like a little step. Right, next we do our 3 single crochets. These are going to be single crochets we cover later to make the body of our heart on round 6. Next, another double crochet. Again, remember we're not going on top of the one that we did before, we're going right beside it. We'll end up with this little T looking shape at the end. Now we end with 1 more single crochet, remembering to skip the stitch that our double crochet takes. And there you have it. We repeat this process on each side of our square. Alright, our last double crochet, followed by 1 more single crochet. Remember, this last single crochet can look a little weird, but it's the one you have to skip one for the double crochet, so it is right here. Single crochet and slip stitch. Alright, and that completes our round. We have little T's on each side of our square. We're going to pull up our next color once more. Tighten it down. You want to keep things taut but not too tight when pulling up colors so that the strings lay nice and flat but aren't bunching. Now round 6, we start with our corner. Then we're going to do double crochet, 2 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 2 single crochets, and 1 double crochet. Again, remember that when your round starts with a double crochet right after your corner, that double crochet is going to go into the corner space below it. So 1 double crochet, skip a stitch, 2 single crochets, then we do 3 double crochets all across the top of our T. This makes the body of our heart. Make sure that you're getting each one in its own individual stitch and not stacking them together. There we go. Okay, I can give them a little nudge, make them lay closer together and a little flatter. That's what we just completed, and we'll complete it on each side going around. Alright, then we skip our 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And this is where we'll put our next single crochet. Single crochet 1, single crochet 2, and 1 more double crochet, again right in the corner. Sometimes that loop can be a little small and hard to see. Alright, after that, skip 1 and we'll work our next corner right here. Then just repeat that process on each side. Alright, now we're just going to finish with 1 more double crochet. And our slip stitch. And that completes this round. Pull up our new color. Start as usual by working our corner. Then we're going to be doing 2 single crochets, a double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and 2 single crochets. You'll notice that this pattern is very mirrored. We do 1 set of steps all the way to the center and then the same steps we did before in reverse. That's how we get a nice even look. Again, we've done 2 single crochets. Our next double crochet is going to be right here. Again, it is not on top of the double crochet below it, but beside it. Now we skip 1 and we work 5 single crochets. Now for our next double crochet, remember it is beside and not on top of the one below it. This once again helps outline our heart. Skip 1 and do 2 single crochets. Now we repeat this process on each side of our square. I once again ran out of yarn here, so just spliced on a new piece and continued on. Thankfully, squares worked in this way don't have a lot of ends to weave in, even with the color working, so I can handle a couple extra ends. Alright, we end it with 1 and 2 single crochets. Again, that last one can look a little wonky, but it's there. But it can be a little tricky sometimes. Now we do our slip stitch. And there you have it. Pull up our next color. And we begin round 8. Start with a corner. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2 single crochets, 2 double crochets, a single crochet, and then repeat the pattern but in reverse. So 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet. Remember, since this one has a single crochet before it, it's not actually in that corner space, it's the one right beside it. Now we're doing our 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet. Then this is the very top of our heart, so we have 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, then 1 single crochet to keep them apart. Remember, skip 2 stitches, 1 single crochet, and then we repeat the pattern with 2 double crochet, remember, you want to skip that middle stitch from before. And just do it on the sides. Now again, 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and 1 single crochet. And then we just work our next corner. Our hearts are almost completed. We just have to do a little more detailing.
Thank you.
Alright, here we are, just finishing up our last double crochet and our last single crochet. Then we do our slip stitch. And that's the end of our row. Now you can see that that heart is really starting to come out, but it really shines once we finish our next row. Round 9 starts, like always, with a corner. Now we do 3 single crochets, and again, if you ever get lost on which row you are on, just count the rings on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, we start 3 single crochets, single crochet 1, single crochet 2, and single crochet 3. We're going to do 2 double crochets, one here and one here. This helps define the sides of our heart. Then we skip 2 and continue on doing single crochets. Oh, I got a little lost here. My brain's buffering. Yep. We do 2 single crochets. Then 1 double crochet. This finishes defining the top of our heart. Then 2 more single crochets. There you go. You can see it really coming out. Now 2 more double crochets. Next, single crochet 1, single crochet 2, and single crochet 3. And there you have it. We'll just repeat these steps on each side and end up with our perfect crochet hearts. Technically, after completing round 9, you could be finished if you like. Your hearts are completed and it has a nice thin border. However, I found that I liked a more dramatic, thicker, and designed border, which are rounds 10 through 12. It doesn't take that much extra time to add them, and I think it really does add something to the squares, but you can choose either way, whatever look you're going for. Alright, we're just finishing up our round 9 here with 3 single crochets. And a slip stitch. Again, if you wanted to be done with your square here, you could be. You just give it one more chain, cut your yarn, and pull it through to finish it off. But again, I think it looks very nice with an additional border. So that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be adding our little dotted border around the side. So pull up our color, tighten that one back down, these rounds are pretty easy. They're just corner and then single crochet 17 all the way across for round 10. So single crochet, chain, single crochet, and then 17 single crochets all across the side. Again, we're working in the back loop only, even though we don't plan to double crochet over these single crochets, but it still keeps everything looking uniform. And yeah, sorry, my phone died, so now we're back. If you do have to set it down during this stage and you can't remember how many single crochets you've done, I find it easier to, instead of counting the loops up top, count the posts of the stitches. Makes it a little bit more obvious when you reach your corners. Alright, then after you have 17, you'll just work another corner and do another 17 on each side. The border is not hard, it is a little tedious, but worth it. Right, and again we end with our 17th single crochet, slip stitch, and pull up another color. Round 11 will be very similar to round 10, except this time, after we work our corner, we will do 19 single crochets instead of 17. So again, just plain and simple, 19 single crochets all the way across. There's something mildly therapeutic about doing single crochets all the way across, especially after having to keep track of your overlay double crochets versus single crochets in the rows before. Alright, and now again, after you finish all 19 single crochets, you'll work your next corner and repeat. Once again, make sure you have all 19 of those single crochets worked in. Then we slip stitch. And again, if you wanted to, you could probably be done after any of these rounds, but I like the designed border, so one more round and we will be finished. Pull up our color, pull it down, and we start with working our corner. This round is a little bit tricky, but not too hard. It's just keeping track of your stitches. Start with our corner. Then we're going to do a double crochet. And again, whenever we start with a double crochet, that means it will belong into the corner space of the row below it. So find that little corner spot and work your double crochet there. Now we're going to alternate double crochets and single crochets all the way across our work. We'll do a double crochet, single crochet 10 times. So here's one of them. Again, we're just skipping back and forth, double crochet and single crochet all the way across. And as long as we don't miss one, we will end perfectly with one last double crochet at the far end. And this is how we make those perfect little square blocks along our border. It's a little easier to see the loops you go into, in my opinion, on a border like this, because you can see all of the little loops that you left behind on previous rows. Alright, that should make 10 sets. This is our last double crochet, going back into that corner space. Again, sometimes they can be a little bit tight. As long as we've done it properly, there you have it. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 double crochets across your border. And 10 squares, not counting the corners. Now we go ahead, skip one because of our double crochet, and work our next corner. Then we just repeat the process on each side. I usually get really excited right about now in a project because we are so close. I didn't like how that one turned out, so I decided to redo it. And our last double crochet. Now, like always, finish our round by slip stitching. And there you have it, your completed square. To finish our project, I like to chain, then cut my yarn and pull that yarn through. Giving yourself enough to weave in the end later. And there you go. I think these squares are lovely as really anything. They're just very, very cute. And also because it is overlay crochet, oh, and don't forget you will have to cut off your second color as well on the back. But because it is overlay crochet, you basically have a single crochet square on the back, which means it's very tightly woven. There's not a lot of gaps. And you can see here on a square that I didn't have to add more yarn to, you only have 4 ends to weave in at the end of your project, which is just so nice for me because I hate weaving in ends. But there you go. You can also do this in contrasting colors or work the pattern with one colorway and then do it the opposite the other. I think they look very nice next to each other this way, especially in a mixed project. Next time, we're going to be working on putting these squares together into a bag. So stick around if you want to see how I construct that. Until next time, let's make something.